Hello, and welcome to Storytime with Eamon Standing. This is not going to be the last story I tell, but it will be the last story for National Storytelling Week, or the last part of a story. As you can see, it's night time. It's like 2:20 in the morning, and I wanted to do something a little bit different to my other two videos, in which this one will be completely scripted, but and not my own story in any way, but it is a take on a story. When I go to bed, sometimes I have a bit of trouble sleeping, so I put on an episode of something on my phone, and I fall asleep halfway through that. One of those shows that I usually fall asleep to is either Family Guy or South Park. And so I decided to read a Family Guy episode in the style of a bedtime story. Now, it took an hour to turn 2 minutes of that story of that episode into an actual story that I can read. So, and that in turn takes a while to read. So I'm going to release this episode in several parts, but the episode is from Season 2, Episode 24, or maybe just Family Guy Episode 24 in total. No, I think it's just the 24th episode of Family Guy, but it's one of my favourites. It's called He's Too Sexy for His Fat. So without further ado, I will start to read this story, and I hope you enjoy it. Our story begins at a large supermarket, Stop and Shop, where the Griffin family are doing their shopping. Lois paces the fruit and veg section, scoping for healthy substance for her family, as Stewie sits in the baby chair of a trolley, looking like the sour lemon-shaped delinquent that he is. Lois takes a look at some tomatoes, but to her dismay, being healthy is looking to break the budget. Oh my! Tomatoes at $3.99 a pound? That's so high. Isn't that high? It seems so high. It's clear that Stewie can't stand shopping any more than your average infant can, and the pothead-like ramblings of his number one target of a mother is not helping his patience. Ah, this is interminable! I demand to know why you insist on taking me everywhere you go. I mean, really, what could possibly happen if you left me at home by myself? Instant stuffing or instant mashed potatoes? The choices are... Lois flinches as she hears the sound of broken glass and drink spilling on the floor. Clean up aisle 3. Her fat husband imitates the store announcement as he stands by several smashed bottles of beer. Peter is a mischievous fellow, and we can all tell that he's just trying to get a free drink in the boredom of the supermarket. I got it. He puts his lips to the floor and drinks all he can of the spilt entertainment, looking up only to address the concerns of his out-of-his-league wife. Peter, where's Chris? His son Chris browses a rack of comics with a smile on his face. He takes after his father in stature, and as a teenager, he's straddling the line between boy and man, making all the mistakes that come with life's journey. Hee hee, I love you, She-Hulk. He affectionately rubs the comic on his face, when a frowning security guard comes to break his fantasy with the green lawyer heroine. Alright, son, we're gonna need those 2 hams back. Chris pauses, confused, and breaks his embrace with the comic. Huh? I don't have any hams. The security guard is serious, and grabs the bottom of Chris's t-shirt. Chris is terrified. Lift up your shirt, son. I need an adult! I need an adult! He flaps his arms violently in an attempt to attract the attention of another alpha of the species. The security guard withdraws his accusations at the sight of Chris's large belly and moobs. You're not a shoplifter. You're just a fat kid. Sorry about that, fatty. He smirks, turning to his co-worker. Chris is mortified. Hey, Tom, you're just a fat kid. Aren't you, fatty? You're just a big old fat kid. Here's some chocolate, fatso. Despite the torrent of abuse he has just suffered, the presentation of this sweet treat resets Chris's mood. He smiles excitedly. Thanks! Meanwhile, Meg, the eldest of the Griffin children, and Brian, the family dog, traverse their own interests in the vast array of items Stop and Shop has to offer. Hey Brian, flea collars are on sale. Despite Meg's enthusiasm, Brian's mood remains neutral on the bargain. Nah, too many chemicals. This year I'm going to try a more natural alternative. Is Brian too hasty with his decision of flea treatment? Only time will tell. That night, as the Griffin family sleeps, something begins to stir in the house, soon to wake them from a not quite blissful slumber. Even Stewie's dreams of world domination are suffering from what is about to happen. Attention world leaders, I have 137 nuclear warheads trained on every capital city around the globe. The world is now under my control. But oh no, I'm naked. The laughter of the world leaders and embarrassment of his laid-bare self is enough to wake Stewie from this nightmare, but perhaps not the reason he is woken. Huh? What the deuce? Ah! Fleas! Ah! In alarm of his contamination, Stewie somersaults out of his crib and runs out of his room and down the hall to the protective reassurance of his parents' room. As he retards his pace, the cleanliness of the house gets at the edge on the friction of his pyjama onesie feet, and he uncontrollably slides on the wooden floor, crashing into a table with a lamp on it, which inadvertently smashes over his head. There is only one in Stewie's mind that can be blamed for this injustice of physics. Ah, damn you, Mop and Glow! He enters his parents' room, and after conquering the mountain that is his father's side of the bed, he reaches Lois, holding her eyelids open to try to encourage some form of higher brain activity. Wake up, Leona! This decrepit Hooverville is infested with something besides idiots. Succeeding in his attempt to wake his mother, Lois realizes the predicament her psychotic son is in. Oh my gosh, Stewie, you've got bugs on your jammies! She inspects her latest room occupant. Peter, wake up! Peter stirs as Lois jumps out of bed, holding Stewie as he frantically scratches himself. Stewie's covered with fleas! With a smile on his face, the fat husband turns on the bedside light and one-ups his infant son with the childhood anecdote. Oh, that's nothing. Once when I was a kid, I was covered in ticks. He lies back, proud that he can outdo a 1-year-old. Peter, it's not a contest. He motions... it was back then. He motions to his Most Ticks 1965 trophy. The most sensible of the two, Lois vocalizes her suspicions on the cause of the sudden plague of bloodsuckers. Oh no, Brian! Stewie has clearly had enough of his current situation. That's it. Time for Doggy to go the way of Old Yeller. And we will break there for the moment and find out what happens in the rest of the episode in the next video. You'll probably notice that I missed out all of the cutaways, and that's because it's really freaking hard to tell a story of an episode of Family Guy when all the cutaways end up completely disjointing any form of continuity in the story. But there are some actually quite nice cutaways here, so I will do a little bit of my favourite because that's a cutaway I really like doing. Inside an acupuncture doctor's office. Sorry, Dr. Lang. I guess I'm nervous. This whole thing's a little weird. A Chinese doctor with an Irish accent reassures our anthropomorphic dog. Ah, never you fear, laddybuck. I've been doing this all my life. You see, the reason your fleas are drawn to you is your kidney energy is being blocked by dark qi, or what we can call in my country, Wei Feng Zhou He. Hey Doc, do you have to keep those two boxes right next to each other? Brian points to a set of needles, one saying acupuncture needles and the other saying poison-tipped needles. The doctor looks confused. Why? What did they say? Brian sits bolt upright. I think we're done here. So yes, I hope you enjoyed my reading and scripting version of He's Too Sexy for His Fat, and I will continue the story at a later date, probably tomorrow night or over the course of the weekend. It takes quite a lot of work to write as much descriptive stuff I mean, I found a transcript of the episode, so I have all the script in front of me, luckily, but it's quite a job. It's I underestimated it completely. And that was all of 3 minutes, or the first 3 minutes of the episode. So this is probably going to end up being in maybe 10 parts, but I hope you enjoyed how I read it, and I hope you found some of my work this week of National Storytelling Week rather amusing. I guess I'll join you soon, and I'm going to go to bed because I got to wake up early and get my suit from the dry cleaners, because in a couple of weeks I'm going to a wedding in America for my cousin, and I'll probably do a little bit of recording there because it'll be my first time in America, and I don't really know what to expect, but you expect something similar to the Venice and Rome vlogs, but probably with a charged battery, because I'll bring a charger. Hope you enjoyed National Storytelling Week, and ciao for now.